Let's go live now to senior political reporter Jonathan Lee. Jonathan, we are now just 2 days from the budget being handed down. The slow drip of announcements has been underway for a week. Can you tell us any more about what we are expecting?
Well, Kenny, the budget is certainly in a much better position than even MyEFO predicted last December. Unemployment is low. The deficit is certainly expected to be much lower than was previously forecast. The great problem that the government has, though, right now is spiralling inflation. The Treasurer knows he needs to do something to assist struggling families, but is concerned that if he puts too much money in people's pockets, they'll go out and spend, and that will only end up cooking the economy. So it is certainly a tightrope the Treasurer is walking at the moment. Now, Kieran Gilbert spent a few days last week with the Treasurer ahead of Tuesday's budget. There are a number of elements to this which have already been released to the media. We know, for instance, there will be an apprentice subsidy, a scheme which is going to extend covering 35,000 extra places at a cost of some $365 million. There will also be a life-changing drug for cystic fibrosis sufferers, which will be added to the PBS. There will be incentives to encourage small businesses, and there will also be initiatives to help businesses employ older Australians who are suffering from disabilities. What the government wants to do is keep people in work and paying their taxes. When it comes to assisting and putting money in people's pockets, though, Sky News expects there will be a cut to the fuel excise, similar to what's currently happening in New Zealand.
Well, the cost of living relief in this budget will be temporary, it will be targeted, it will be focused on helping Australian families. We recognise that this is the number one topic around Australian kitchen tables right now. And
sure is.
And petrol prices have been rising off the back of international events, the war in Ukraine in particular. And we recognise the need to provide cost of living relief to Australian families.
It should be a budget that secures a better future for Australians and not just a budget that secures a fourth term for this underperforming government. We don't want this budget to be the political equivalent of SPAC filler. Billions of dollars squirting and spraying around in the hope that nobody notices the cracks in the economy until after the election.
Now, I can show you at home the Prime Minister is currently in Western Australia, which is looking very much like it could well be a swing seat. The government doing all it can to sandbag the electorate over there. You see Prime Minister electorates over there, the Prime Minister talking about employment opportunities and crucially talking about getting young apprentice opportunities.
So we're very proud today that we are now extending our successful boosting apprenticeships and commencing apprenticeship scheme, which I'll ask Minister Robert to go through the detail of, by an extra $350 million. And that brings, as I said, the total investment to some $7.6 billion, backing in Australian apprentices like no government has ever done before.
The Morrison government truly is the best friend that tradies have ever had.
And Jonathan, Labor Senator Kim Carr has announced he won't contest the next election.
Kenny, there's a few movements when it comes to the Senate tickets. Concetta Fierravanti-Wells for the Liberal Party has been bumped down to number 3 on their ticket, so it looks increasingly unlikely or very unlikely that she will be re-elected to the Senate. You've got Maurice Payne and Jim Molan there for the coalition. And when it comes to the Labor Party, Kim Carr has announced he won't be recontesting. He's been caught in the bitter pre-selection battle, much like Kimberley Kitching was. He's issued a statement saying that he won't contest. In light of recent developments and following determined urgings from my children, I concluded that it was time for me to reassess my priorities. The Labor Party's mission to create a fairer Australia never ends, and while I would have liked to have continued to pursue it in the Parliament, issues with my health have made that inadvisable. Linda White, the union boss, has taken that position on the Senate ticket. As we say, Kenny, it's a big 48, 72 hours ahead of us as we head to the budget and then eventually to the next election. Kenny.